Hello again, welcome to the facial reconstruction video again. In this video I will talk about all the tissue depth markers points, and then I will make a hole over these points, and I will put tissue depth markers onto these points. And before starting that, I would like to show you one of the lower jaw points of these tissue depth markers. And these are Ghanaian, mid-ramus, and also Ziggian. Ziggian is the point which is over here as I show in my fingers, and then also Ghanaian point is here, exactly, and then mid-ramus point is here approximately. And I will put tissue depth markers for another place again for which is the other side of the skull, and as I show you in here, I will put some Ziggian here, and then Ghanaian here, and also mid-ramus point here, which and as I said, these are the landmarks, and these landmarks will be the tissue depth markers points. So why? But there's an important question: why do we use tissue depth markers in facial reconstruction? Because we have to estimate the thickness of the skull, or we have to estimate the thickness of the muscles over the skull, and tissue depth markers helps us to estimate how much related muscle we must put onto skull. So, but of course, in this case, we will not use exactly the muscles from real life, but we will substitute a kind of oil-based clay for putting muscle products onto skull. So we will not use the muscle-related thing, but we will use oil-based clay for creating muscles. So yes, this is the shortest term for explaining the situation in the near future. But of course, the landmarks doesn't end only with these three landmarks, but also there is a landmarks in here, which is the front of the skull. So in these landmarks, we will use the tissue depth markers in this line, in these lines, and also the line from here to here. So there are varying landmarks in here, and then I will explain you in the next video exactly how which landmarks are we going to use, and the names of these landmarks. So in the end, I have created holes over the skull, and I have created tissue depth markers. I have finished using tissue depth markers. I numbered them, as you see from here. You don't have to, but if you number tissue depth markers before creating it, it will ease your job, because otherwise you have to measure the tissue depth markers in millimeters, so that you can find a place. The main reason for creating tissue depth markers is that knowing the millimeter of each landmark, because each landmark's tissue depth markers are different leveled. So it's better to number them in according to certain points. I numbered them from alphabets from A to Z. So it eased my process for putting tissue depth markers into a certain place. And before leaving the video, I would like to finish my video by explaining tissue depth markers. I will just say the names, and I will continue to do another videos by oil-based clay, but it's not for today now. So basically, here is on the top of the skull, it's a vertex, and glabella here's the glabella. Down at the down is here nasal. Here is mid-nasal. Here is radian. Here is subnasal. Here is midfiltrum. Here is prostion. Here is labral inferioris. Here is mentolabial sulcus. Here is pagonian. Here is natian. And from the left and the right side of the skull, there is a Zegian, midramus, and Gonian point in here. So these are the landmarks, and there is also ambiguity in front of the skull because the lines over lines that tissue depth markers are located must be straight level as such. But why I did in this way? Because my tissue depth markers were quite wide, and I had to locate them in a, I had to locate them in the, I had to locate them I had to cut them, but I didn't want to cut it, so I located them in a ambiguity level from in the subnasal areas and then lower jaw areas. But know that if you're constructing the skull, you have to pay attention to these areas because these areas must be straight level and in straight level in here too. So pay attention to that area before constructing the skull. Always know that you have to know the millimeters quite well, and my as you can see that like my lower jaw and upper jaw areas are quite narrow for putting these kind of these kind of tissue depth markers, because you know it is as wide as it is quite wide, so I had to deal with another situation. So this is all from skull. You can watch my other videos from my channel. In these videos you can see lots of kind of new anthropological things from my videos, and then you can have information about the skull. What can we do from the skull? What can do from skull, and then some basic informations from my another video. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the video, and then you can follow me on Instagram too. So bye bye. Thank you.